Hey, Dawg Pound! In what was already a painful season, the Cleveland Browns have suffered yet another crushing blow. During our Week 11 road game against the New Orleans Saints, we lost one of our key offensive linemen. We have other things to cover, so stick around until the end, and be sure to hit that like button so I can keep you updated. Let's get to it. According to NFL insider Jordan Schultz, offensive lineman Dawg Jones is out for the season due to an ankle injury. He is expected to undergo surgery soon, putting a premature end to what was supposed to be a breakout year for him. Jones came into this season with high expectations. There was a lot of hope that he would anchor this line and be a key protector for our quarterbacks. Unfortunately, his performance on the field did not live up to the hype. And now, with this injury, he will have to focus on attacking the rehab process to come back even stronger next season. For the Browns, this loss is yet another nail in the coffin of what has been a nightmare 2024 season. At 28 years old, making the playoffs is more of a pipe dream than a realistic goal. Losing key starters like Jones only adds to an already difficult climb. The team is likely facing a high-profile pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, which comes with its own set of tough decisions. Looking ahead, there's a lot for this front office to consider. First and foremost is the quarterback situation. Deshaun Watson was supposed to be the answer, but after his Achilles injury, it's fair to ask, what's next? Is he the long-term solution? If not, where do we go from here? The team may have to look for a new franchise quarterback sooner rather than later. And then there's Nick Chubb. He managed 50 yards on 11 carries this week, which was better than his recent performances, but still not quite the game-changing output we're used to seeing from him. The Browns will need to figure out whether he remains a key piece of this rebuild or whether changes need to be made there as well. Today's game was, unfortunately, a reflection of this entire season, a mix of missed opportunities, injuries, and inconsistency. There's no sugarcoating it. Dawg Pound, the Browns have a lot of work to do if they want to be contenders again. And that means tough choices for the front office, the coaching staff, and even the players themselves. But it wasn't all bad news today. Let's talk about one of the bright spots, quarterback Jameis Winston. Yes, he's had a rough career, but today he gave us a reason to celebrate. Winston connected with Jerry Jeudy for an 89-yard touchdown pass against his former team, the New Orleans Saints. It was the longest touchdown pass of his career, and it couldn't have come at a better time. With Cleveland's season seemingly spiraling, Winston's big play was a spark of excitement for fans. The play was nothing short of electric. Late in the first quarter, Winston stepped into the pocket, dodged defenders, and threw a perfect deep ball to Jeudy. Drawing a 1-2 with Saints cornerback Alontae Taylor, Jeudy made a few defenders miss and took it all the way to the house. That's the kind of play we've been missing, and it's why Winston, despite his ups and downs, continues to captivate fans. Off the field, Winston has been making headlines, too. Last week, he delivered a care package to a hospitalized Browns fan, showing once again that his impact extends beyond the field. He's on a one-year deal with us after spending 4 years with the Saints, and while there's a lot of uncertainty about his future in Cleveland, moments like today remind us why he's here. Going into next week, there's no doubt that the Browns will face an uphill battle. The injuries, the record, the questions about the future, it's a lot. But for now, let's celebrate the bright spots we have, like that 89-yard bomb from Winston to Jeudy. This team may be down, but it's not completely out, and there's always something at stake. So what do you think, Browns fans? How do you feel about the loss of Dawg Jones and the struggles of this season? Is it time to start thinking about the draft and a rebuild, or do you see hope for a strong finish? What about Jameis Winston? Is he worth another year, or is it time to move on? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. So, Jameis Winston made his long-awaited return to Caesars Superdome this weekend to face his former team, the New Orleans Saints. It was a bittersweet return for Winston, who put up an impressive 395 passing yards. But let's be real, his stellar performance wasn't enough, as the Browns fell hard, 3,514. This game was a story of missed opportunities and costly mistakes, and I know we're all feeling that pain today. The game started off slow for the Browns, trailing by 146 at halftime. We missed 2 field goals, thanks to Dustin Hopkins, and even botched a 2-point conversion. But things finally started to click in the third quarter. After a Saints punt, Winston led an 8-play, 92-yard drive capped by a 30-yard touchdown pass to Elijah Moore. And yes, we converted the two-point attempt, tying the score at 1,414. For a moment, hope wavered. But that's where the good news ends, folks. The Browns didn't score again. Meanwhile, the Saints put on a clinic. New Orleans racked up 473 total yards, including 214 yards on the ground. Alvin Kamara had a field day, racking up 127 rushing yards and a touchdown. Quarterback Derek Carr added 259 passing yards and 2 touchdowns. Our defense, which has often been the backbone of this team, was simply overwhelmed. Let's talk stats. Winston completed 30 of 46 passes, racking up 395 yards and 2 touchdowns. On paper, that sounds great. But the reality? We only made 3 of 13 third-down conversions, and the running game barely existed, totaling a paltry 66 yards on 20 attempts. That's not how you win football games, Dawg Pound. Now, the Browns are 28th, in last place in the AFC North. And with the Pittsburgh Steelers coming up next, fresh off an 18-16 win over the Ravens, it's not getting any easier. We need a big turnaround, and we need it fast. But let's be honest, based on what we saw against the Saints, there's plenty to worry about. Let's break down the winners and losers from this game. First, W.R. Jerry Jeudy had his best game in a Browns uniform, catching 6 passes for 142 yards and a touchdown. Most of his damage came in the first half, highlighted by an electrifying 89-yard touchdown reception where he torched the Saints secondary. CB Denzel Ward made his presence felt early with 2 critical turnovers. He picked off Taysom Hill on a deep throw and then forced and recovered a fumble from Hill. Those plays kept us in the game, at least for a while. QB Jameis Winston did everything he could to keep us in it. He wasn't perfect, but he showed grit and kept pushing the ball downfield, finishing with 395 yards and 2 touchdowns. You can't help but admire the fight. Dustin Hopkins, it's tough to watch him struggle like that. He missed 2 crucial field goals and even had a third miss overturned by a penalty. His confidence seems lost, and it's costing us dearly. Myles Garrett was a ghost in this game. No tackles, no sacks. The Saints shut him down, and without his usual dominance, our defense fell apart. The entire defensive line struggled, but Tomlinson was especially disappointing. He was supposed to anchor our run defense, and instead we got run over. This loss also falls on the coaching staff. Coming off a bye week, the team looked lackluster, unprepared, and disorganized. The defense was gassed, the special teams were misfiring, and the offense couldn't keep up. Where's the fire? Where's the leadership? Chubb showed flashes of his old self, averaging 4.5 yards per carry. He's clearly still working his way back, but today was a step in the right direction. Replacing the injured DeJuan Jones, Ifedi played admirably. It wasn't a perfect performance, but he held his own and deserves credit for stepping up. So what's next? Browns fans, is there any hope of salvaging this season, or is it time to think about the future and the draft? What did you think of Winston's return and the team's performance? Leave your thoughts in the comments and let's talk. And before you go, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more updates. Go Browns!